Hello and welcome along. My name is Eddie and this is my vlog, and it is August the 1st. We had a very wet day yesterday. Well, we sort of had this just as the dew was clearing off and nicely drying off. We had this short, sharp rain shower that just ended up with the day being cloudy and overcast, and the moisture level on the combine, just on the crop, just being that little bit too high to work for most of the day. So we lost a day on the harvest from that, but we're picking up again today, and we are getting stuck into this field now. We're dropping corn behind us. We're going to see how much our tank gets filled. Dropping corn, dropping straw behind us. We'll see how much this tank gets filled. We are coming up to 2,000 litres, so that's not too bad. We're looking at having 4.5 runs off this, which should be quite good. We can park the tractor in the middle, or we should be able to unload at the top end maybe. Bring it round, and we'll see how straight we are. I think we're pretty good actually. That's yeah, that's a nice straight run cutting in here. That'll do us well. But yeah, you can see, and we get nice straight rows here with this. Then we'll be in a good position later on when we come to bale it, and that will run pretty well going across the field as well. So yeah, all in all, the yield is pretty good on these oats, and we're gonna crack through this field and hopefully get this out today. I think this is going to take us most of the day to get this out, to be honest. It's about what is the time? It's about 9:30 in the morning. It's been a good drying morning. We've had a nice little breeze coming off the coast that got rid of the rest of yesterday's moisture, and it was a nice dry night overnight. So whereas we had a heavy dew the previous day, we had a very light dew last night, and yeah, as a result, we've been able to get cracking nice and early this morning. We're just past 6,500 litres in the tank, and it looks like we might be lucky actually and make it all the way to the top here. Combine is struggling a little bit on the hill, especially with this much grain on it, but otherwise she's performing well. Now hopefully this means that I've got this about right. Oh, we're coming up to 7,000. This could be slightly short. We got 7,500 litre tank on here. We can tip basically 14,000 litres, 14,500 litres. So we've got enough capacity for doing a full tank from here and one other. And I think actually that is about as perfect as we're going to get it. Look at that. 7,443 litres means that we are just shy of a full tank, but have a good amount to empty. Let's position ourselves right. Depth perception, not the easiest thing here. And unload, and perfect. So that is over the wheels. That shouldn't affect the tractor too much, but to know that we can do that and basically get 4 rows out of there, and then be able to empty at the top end of the field, that is really useful. Where are we up to? 2,000 litres left. It takes a little while to get this combine emptied, but it's doing the job nicely. We'll spread this out a little bit, and we're empty. So let's get that in, disengage it, and get turned around so that we can open this up some more. Now my hope is that we can get this part of the field opened up, and then we'll clear up the 2 bits that you can see we've got a big cut into the field up there where we've got a pit at the side of the field. So we'll need to then deal with those two bits separately. But having a nice empty combine, we should be able to open the rest of this bit of the field up quite nicely and go from there. You can see down here, this is the bit that we're looking at having to clean up. We've got a very, very thin bit there holding those two bits together now, and it's and that's the thing. We're in a position where we're going to want to get those two bits done. If we can get up and back again from here, then we should be fine. We're currently at 3,000 litres. If we can get, if we're 3,750 litres is sort of our cut-off for the top here. So that will tell us whether we're able to do another 4 rows. I'm fully expecting that we can. Especially looking at this, that's 3,300, 3,400. Yeah, it's got to be 3,750 to be causing us a problem, and we're going to be nowhere near that, so that's absolutely fine. So 2 more rows, we should be able to empty the combine, and once we've done that, we're going to go and tip these oats. And then we've got these 2 little areas at the top of the field here to deal with. And I want to show you guys how we're going to deal with that, because it's slightly different to how we'll cut the rest of the field. But you can see we've got this small area at the bottom of the field here, just connected to this small area at the top, which we are now completely disconnecting through this short bit. 7,000, about 7,150 litres. No, maybe, no, just over 7,000 litres will fill our trailer here. So I want to be careful. If we can avoid leaving any in the combine, that would be good. I think that's not going to be the case. We're getting very close to 7,000 litres at this point. We're going through the longest part of the field with that middle bit. Well, the longest part that we're going to cut, we're not doing... if we were doing the length of the field, that would be different. And there we go, we're over 7,000 litres, so we're going to have a little bit left in the tank. I don't want to overfill the trailer, so there we go. Let's bring this around. Yep. And get our auger over the trailer, and then we can just empty it out. Gonna bring it a little bit more this way. I think we're quite a long way over to the other side. There we go. That's better. Right, and we'll fill at the front this time because we filled quite a bit at the back already. We want to keep an eye on this. We want to go down to about 100, 200 litres, I think, to empty this out. We're not too far to the back. There we go. And there we go. Cut it off there. 128 litres. Put the auger in. And yeah, we'll leave the combine here, because we're going to come do this bit. And you can see we've got 2 bits here that basically, there we go, that basically we can just go and knock out in a couple of runs, and the same's true with the far end, so that should be nice and neat. First though, we need to go and tip in the G190. Nice full trailer of oats here. And yeah, that is our first trailer off the body of this field. Considering we've already got 2 off the rest, that's not a bad start. That's nearly 50,000 litres, I think. Pack it into the storage and tip it up, and we're all good. And looking nice. And that's what 43,000 litres. Actually, I think it's 44.5 because we've taken a full trailer here every time. 44,500 litres looks like. On a barn floor. And it's gone very well. There we go. Right, back out to the field, and we will we'll crack on with these two very special shaped bits of the field that are just a little bit more of a pain than the rest of the field, which should run pretty smoothly after this point. So I'm going to park the tractor here. This is the point of our next cut-in. So we'll turn the engine off as well. No point in having that running. Giving ourselves enough space to turn. We should only get, I think, probably a couple of cuts before we're in a position. There we go. Where we can, where we'll need to empty. But start the whole thing up. I'm hoping that we'll knock this out in 2, maybe 3 cuts. As I said, we've got 128 litres left on the combine. We need to get this so that this end bit is done. So we're not cutting down the middle of this. We're going to go round and do it from the edges. So slightly different approach. Knock this bit out and then head down to the top end of the field. I think we might have 3 rows to do here, so we're going to end up in the middle of the field if we cut it the other way. So I'm just sort of going down the edge bit here, and then we'll continue down here and do this bit. And it's a fairly regular shape once you take out that pit. It just ends up being a little bit more fiddly having to do things this way. And yeah, we've got to go out. So we're going to have a wider section in the middle. Trying to predict this field. You know, first you're doing a field like this, it can be kind of difficult to predict exactly where you should be going. But I think we've got it fairly well down. I'm understanding the shape of this field pretty well. It's an odd-shaped field to harvest because of the way the slope is. We are going up and down the slope, but you get further into the field and the slope changes direction. So it can be a little bit harder to predict. But we are in good stead. Yeah, so we want to be a little bit further out. This is nice in that it has 4 rows for us to play with, but it's going to be a little bit of a strange one. And where we're left here, if we've got more than half a tank from doing this little bit of the field, we'll have to empty before we get into the actual field. Actually, if we're swinging out this far, let's grab this little bit. Put a little bit of straw down on the headland, but we can just leave that. And hopefully this all fits in now. No, it doesn't. Yeah. It can be a little bit of a pain like that sometimes. In fact, no, now all of it's fitting in. We've got a little bit that we need to go and just pick up down that far end, where I misjudged how far it goes out. But you can see how little bits like this can be quite fiddly and need to be approached in a slightly different way. Right. And we'll take you straight down the middle. And trying to be as efficient as possible can be quite difficult. So we need 3,750 litres is the most we can take from here in order to get our cut to work. We are only at about 2,000, so, and this bit here is not that big, as you can see. We're cutting in, that is not a full width's worth that is the other side of our cutter, which is good news. Means this part should be a little bit easier, even if it does mean that we are going to end up in the middle of the field, but that's not a problem. And we can just head up the top, and hopefully we won't be too full. I'm actually looking at that. That is going up pretty quickly. We are getting about 6 tons a hectare off here at the moment, and it's a really decent yield for these oats. I'm quite pleased with it. Although, yeah, this is getting thinner as we get up to the top. Still a full row's worth there, but it's not going to produce anywhere near as much oats because we are, we've got a thin bit. Now we're sticking what we've got left here down the middle because that's the easiest way to ensure that that we get all of it. We're then not worried about missing a bit at the edge. 3,201 litres. There we go. So yeah, we can cut in. We've got about a 500 litre leeway here off 2 rows for this, so that's good news. We want to try and get this so that our cut-in gives us a full tank. So I need to judge very, very carefully where I'm going to cut in, because essentially I'd like to take 6 rows with this. So I think roughly where the front of our tractor is, it's probably a good place. So line ourselves up. And we're heading for the other side of that gap, basically. Yeah, having to eyeball everything here is a lot of fun, but we can do it. I think this combine, I don't think this combine is quite modern enough. Well, we could get GPS on here, but it would be a little bit of a retrofit on this combine, and I'm not sure it would work all that well. And I'm managing with it. I mean, let's face it, this is the first time I've ever had where I've had a GPS on any vehicles. And I find myself getting a little bit addicted to it with that T7. It's quite a machine that makes things very, very easy. But yeah, it is the only tractor that we have that on. So it's not bad at all. Not bad at all. So we've got our line quite nicely, and when you've got you know, bits in the hedgerow and things like that, this makes it fairly easy to keep a nice straight line going through the crop. Aim for something on the far side of the field, and away you go. And keep it just coming at you, and coming out the other side, we're pretty straight. You know, that's not bad at all. We are at 5,000 litres. So, yeah, we're going to have to empty up the top. But all in all, that's not too bad. And that is the longest part of the field at that bottom end. So, yeah, doesn't surprise me that we're going to be well within our target for getting to the other end. And being able to empty without any issues. And we're under 7,000 litres as we come up to the top. That's brilliant. That means that next time we probably won't be tipping a full trailer full. But I kind of need to be able to empty at this point. Whether we do a full trailer full or not is kind of dependent on how much or how full we are at the end. If we're getting like 7,000, if we're getting 14,000 litres in the trailer, then that's fine. But otherwise, we're pretty good, I think. The combine does empty fairly well. It's not the fastest combine I've ever seen, but it does empty quite nicely. Shake the last couple out. Then away we go back into our crop. And I think we might be fairly well off with how we've, at the point we've cut in. That looks like at least another couple of rows there. Otherwise, yeah, otherwise I've gone a little bit too far. We might have wanted to start where that first, or where we came back up this row, maybe. Either way, this is going very smoothly today. I'm happy. You can see here from this position how the slope of this field changes. So we've got a high point up that corner, down to a sort of a dip in the middle, and then out the other side. Whereas we're going uphill the whole time. It's an interesting shaped field. I mean, the whole farm is like this, where there's not sort of one slope to contend with, but multiple on most of the fields. So trying to get the best angle to harvest and do things can be quite a challenge on here. We are, yeah. We're coming up to, or we're just past 6,000 litres. We actually have space in the combine to possibly do another run. I'm just trying to work out whether we would have space. We'd have another. Yeah, we're a little bit short on the trailer, but also a little bit high on the combine. I think two more rows will give us enough space in the combine, and we can probably fill the trailer up from that. So yeah, and that would allow us to finish this cutting. So let's get the auger out, get our trailer filled, and then yeah, we'll do one more down and up. I think that's gonna be a very full trailer, but should be fine for us. So empty that out, and yeah, we'll do one more. We wouldn't be able to get there and back, and we're gonna leave a fair amount in the combine doing it this way, but it's gonna be the most it's gonna be the easiest way without doing without having run out of space in the combine, and I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. It's gonna give us the least amount of effort and the least amount of wasted time to get this. Sometimes this happens to me. I have these blanks. Just cannot fathom what word it is I'm trying to get at. It keeps coming to the tip of my tongue, and yeah, I'm lost for words in the oats. This is quite something. There we go. All done on that row. We have got a little bit of a row left there, so we're gonna have to go and empty that out. But this trailer is looking fairly full. I'm going to top it up a little bit. We've got 3,000 litres on the combine. But yeah, you can see the trailer's looking fairly full. We're just going to top up on the top here a little bit. And there we go. That'll be enough. And I'm going to leave myself ready to go in to get this last row here. And then we'll cut in from the other end, because we're in a position now where everything is a little bit weird. It's getting a lot thinner per cut as well, so it's all good. And yeah, it's getting on in the day as well. I think this is going to take us a couple of days to knock this out, to be honest. I think we might get one more load off here. And yeah, have to come back to it again tomorrow, which is not what I was expecting. I was expecting to knock this field out today, but we've still got a bit of a dry period the next couple of days, so should be good. Especially as we need to get this straw all baled up ready to sell. I am speaking to somebody about trying out a bale stacker actually for these Hestons. Our local dealer has something that might work for me from that point of view, so I want to give that a try. There we go, back in, and this store actually has been quite good. We should fit all of our crops in here this year, and the one that's going to be interesting is going to be the carrots. They're going to generate a lot. But we'll see how that goes. Right, and in. And it's getting this round these. Got quite a dirty window now. All that dust from the harvest has been is backing up my tractor. Right, there we go. We need to get this turning the other way before we get in here, because otherwise we have no space to turn the tractor. Watch my front wheel on that door. There we go. Yeah, because it's a tighter turn than the other one. And we've still, I'm going to move that bag. Got these seed bags ready to go for when we finish the harvest this year. But where I've left them is not in the most useful of places. Right, tip that. And that is another 14,500 litres of wheat. Of oats, sorry. The wheat is on the other side. Of oats that we've got in our store. Looking absolutely brilliant. Not as much oat yet as the wheat. But yeah, it won't be too long at the rate that we're getting trailers off this field. When I got back to the field, I noticed that the wind has changed. It's now blowing from behind us, blowing off of the water, which is not good. It means that there's more moisture in the air. I have done a little bit of a test, and yeah, it does appear the moisture content has gone up a little bit. It's one of those things that because we've not got a grain dryer, because we're tipping on the floor and dealing with things that way, we're not in a position where we are able to actually dry any of this. So we keep the moisture content under close review. Oh, come on, reverse, there we go. We keep the moisture content under close review because yeah, we can't dry it at all. And so if we get a bit of a spike, then it can cause trouble. I'm gonna test it again when we tip this title, when we put in to the trailer, and we should get one more. Yeah, I think we'll get a couple more rows done here before we need to do that. But if the moisture content looks like it's going up a fair bit, then we'll have to stop for the day. It's getting later on. It's like well, it's 5:30 at the moment, and I was hoping to go a little bit into the evening, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. It's just way too likely that we're going to end up with a moisture content that's too high for us to continue. But if we can get another full trailer off here, I will be happy with that, and that will be a good amount done for the day. Oh, the stuff is getting into my throat a little bit. This dust. It is a very dusty day. So that at least will be altered by the sea breeze. With a little bit more moisture, it'll stop the dust flying about so much. But yeah, let's see how full we get at the end of this row, and hopefully we'll get a couple more out as well. Up to the end of the row, and it's 6,500 litres. Not bad at all. We'll get this tipped, and then I'm going to go and test the moisture content of this. And I think it's going to be a case of when we get back to the barn, testing it as well. But we'll see what level it's at. Where's my auger got to? That would not be good. There it is. Right. Let's get this emptied. Rather nicely in like that. We've got 2 more rows here to do, and then I think we can probably just take 2 rows off the edge. So I'll go a little bit against what I'd normally do. Actually, if we come up, back up the left-hand side, or the right-hand side, we should be fine. Are we empty? Almost. There we go. Right. Let's get this. Let's get this done. Oh no! Just want to quickly leave that there. Just gonna pop in and grab some of this from the trailer. Climb up here. There we go. Grab some of this and give it a test. Okay, so I've tested the moisture content of the crop, and yeah, we are right on the cusp. It has been rising steadily since I got back to the field. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the rest of this out. I think the rest of this trailer will be absolutely fine. It won't be too high. After that, though, we're going to have to stop because, yeah, by the time we've tipped and come back to the field, the moisture's going to be too high anyway. So, yeah, we're gonna get this finished about halfway through this field. I mean, it's not, you know, this is a huge field. So we should be able to continue this next time. Yeah, I'll jump back on this field tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get a good drying start, and we'll be able to knock the rest of this field out and get our oats finished. The field has pulled into the point now where we're basically getting half as much per row. So it means that rather than doing 4 rows before we're full, we're now doing nearer to 8. Yeah, we are only up to 3,500 litres. Well, 3,765, which means we're only half full. As a result, as you can see, I'm now going the other way up to try and neaten things up a little bit and mean that I don't have to do another cut in before I empty, because I want to come back down and get that bit there. So we're going to come back down this side, go back up the other side, and hopefully at that point we'll have a full enough tank. And you can feel when you step out the combine now, you can feel the moisture in the air. It is definitely on the rise. So I think when we test this back at the shed, it is going to be a case that we're going to have to stop. I don't think we'd have got that much done, that much more done today. It's been a fair old slog through the bottom half of this field. And now we need to make sure that what we're producing is the best quality we can produce for our crops. So yeah, it's lots of swings and roundabouts. You can never be too sure. It appears my last rows that I did were pretty crooked. Look at this, we've had 2 wedge-shaped rows that we've need to clear out from this here in order to make this work. So yeah, when I did the previous one, I wasn't as straight as I thought I was. But the good news is the rows that we've just done do seem pretty straight, so that's good news. We have 6,700 litres, which is a good amount. We should have about 13,500 litres on this, so a nearly full trailer, and empty it out. There we go. Let's start that off. In it goes, and yeah, turn off the thresher and the front, because we're not going to need that against it, I don't think. Certainly for now we're not going to. We'll get this positioned ready to do next time. Yeah, fill up the middle of the trailer with this. Oh, there we go. Emptied just in time then. Right, back this up. And want the combine to be ready to do its next cut-in, which is going to be about here-ish. Hopefully we can keep the next cut-in nice and straight, would be useful. Right, and down. Handbrake on and off. Right, let's go test this, but I think our moisture's going to be too high now. We'll see exactly where that leaves us. Away we go. Yeah, as I expected, this the moisture content's got too high for us to continue today. It's the last load we brought in was right on the cusp. I dare not keep harvesting without the ability to dry it. So as a result, that is where I'm going to finish off for today, which means that all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. Please give it a like, drop us a comment and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from the farm, please subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.